Good evening and welcome to Wednesday Night Wellness Live. I'm Dr. Andrew Merrill here at Nightlight Chiropractic. And every week on Wednesdays in the evening, we do this Wednesday Night Wellness Live to help answer some of the questions that our patients have, that are some of our friends and the people that we know might ask us along the way. We see lots of patients here and they have some similar questions. It's weird that we answer some of the same questions week in and week out. And one of the things that we've run into very recently is how to get some of our patients to follow some habits, to change some of their habits and to do new good habits, right? So for the purpose of tonight's video, we're going to be talking about creating new good habits. Now, some of these rules would apply to getting rid of bad habits, and that's good as well. But we're going to be talking about creating new good habits, because a lot of times when we have patients, we're trying to give them homework. We're trying to give them new exercises and things to do, and they have to find a way to implement that. And so part of the trick is to help them to create the habit so that it just happens naturally without them trying to find the willpower to do it. So we got to talk first about kind of habits and routines and patterns and procedures and whatever you want to call it. We all have these things, and it's part of what makes us these complex animals, right? So what happens in our brains is you start off with this cue. So there's this trigger that happens that then your brain takes and it starts to go on autopilot. And that autopilot is really important for a lot of what we do, right? So these habits and procedures serve us well most of the time. One of the things that I like to talk about first is your drive to work, because that's something that happens automatically for a lot of people, right? So you get in your car with your cup of coffee or whatever in the morning, and you get in your car, and then all of a sudden, poof, a minute goes by, and then you're showing up at your office, and you're like, how did I get here? What just happened? I don't remember any of this. I hope I don't break any, I hope I don't break any laws. I just magically transported, from my house to my job. And it happens because your brain is on autopilot, and it doesn't need to consciously think about things. It just automatically does everything that it has done day in, day out for however long. And now you don't just have one pattern. Like, that's one example of one pattern, is that drive to work. But think about brushing your teeth, which happens automatically the same way every single time. You're thinking about, that fight you got in that day or whatever it is, but the teeth brushing still happens, and it's that pattern and that routine that you have. So these things serve us well most of the time, but I think that we can all think of a few patterns that don't serve us well, right? So patterns that really work against us. So think about a space that is really just you're being lazy space. Right? So you see a chair and automatically you think, that's my football chair. All I do is sit and watch football all day. And maybe that's not a negative thing, but it's your lazy chair, right? It's a cue when you see that chair. This is what I do. I plop in this chair and all I do is watch football. And that's not necessarily a good habit, right? To just to do that. So what we want to do is we want to be looking at entire routines instead of just the habit. So just the behavior that you look at, when you look at it that way, it's hard to think about how you came to do this, right? So habits your habits have created who you are. It's not just the behaviors. The habits have created who you are, right? So you can take a behavior, do it once or twice, and it doesn't become a habit, and therefore it doesn't affect you long term. But there's some habits that form that really do have a big role in who you are today. So how do these things form? Well, it starts out with a cue, like I said, right? So there has to be some trigger that your brain sees or thinks about that it then latches onto and says, I know this routine, and I'm going to run this routine, and then I'm going to shut down my forebrain, and it's just going to be this deeper part of my brain running this routine, and that's it. And then it runs through the routine, and then the behavior, so that you see the cue, and there's the trigger, and then you have the behavior, which then happens just on autopilot. It just happens, it just goes. And then after that always comes the reward, whatever it is, whatever that reward is. If it's Cheetos, you're going to get this rush of dopamine because you're eating bad stuff. If it's smoking, if it's a cigarette, you're going to get that nicotine. If it's being lazy, if it's social media and the endorphins that come along with social media, whatever it is, there is a reward behind these. That is how these habit loops form, is because there's a cue, there's a behavior, and there's a reward, and it always happens that way. And now that's important because we're going to use that, we're going to kind of hack into that so that we can create new behaviors, right? So what we want to do first, and there's a couple steps to this, so you want to make your cue. Right? So think about whatever it is, whatever behavior you're trying to create, you want to make a cue that is so ridiculously obvious that you could not sneak past it if you tried. Right? So if you want to, let's say you want to be a runner. Let's say you want to start running again, right? So your cue could be something like hanging a pair of sneakers right there on near the front door, so that you have to see them. You walk in the house and you're just going to see them, and that's going to be the cue. That is going to start you into that mode that you are going to then follow your autopilot behavior. And so creating the cue, very conspicuous first, good start. You have to keep whatever behavior you're trying to create or instill or make happen, you have to make it attractive. You have to make it fun. If it is something that you absolutely loathe, like if you hate running, I don't care if those shoes hang there for 10 years, you're not going to go running. So you have to find a way to maybe take that into pieces, break that into smaller steps. So maybe I'm going to go walking first. Maybe I'm going to go jogging then. If it's something that you absolutely loathe, there's no chance of you creating a habit. Your cue will not stick. No matter what the reward is, no matter what the cue is, your cue won't stick. So don't start with something that is over the top that you hate to do. It has to be fun. It has to be attractive. It has to be something that you like to do, okay? Also, it can't be overly complicated, right? If this is a 10-step process, remember, we're trying to get this thing down deep into your brain, down to parts of your brain that you don't even think about. If it's something that's complicated that requires higher level thought, it's never going to be autopilot. It just can't be. By the very nature of it, it has to be something that your brain can learn, put into motion, and then affect. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be like a zombie, that you're going to go for a 10-mile run and like not think at all. What I'm saying is that by the time you're paying attention, you should already have your running shoes on and be out the door. And then your brain can go think about other things. But the actual behavior that you're trying to model should be just autopilot. And now this is one of the most important parts, at least if you look at the literature, if you look at all the different people who have written about this subject, you have to create some kind of reward. Now this gets really tricky, right? Because you don't even know what the rewards are for some of the behaviors and habits that you already have. Right? Think about that for a second. You go through certain habits and there really doesn't seem to be a reward except that there is at the end of it. And so trying to figure out what that reward is for a lot of the habits you already have is a tough goal. There's a lot of things that don't even make sense there. So when you're trying to create a new habit, when you're trying to build this, it's hard to figure out, well, what would do it for me? Like, what am I in this for? What reward would I like? And so, again, I will tell you, keep it very, very simple, okay? It doesn't have to be over the top. It doesn't have to be something that's unhealthy as a reward. It should be something that is very, very simple, something that your brain just cues into, hey, we like that. It's not over the top crazy, but we like it, and therefore, we're going to commit this to memory. We're going to learn this habit, and we're going to model this habit. And there's a lot of stuff in the research too. There's a disagreement about how long this takes, right? And I would argue the more simple it is, the more straightforward it is, the more that it can be tuned into autopilot, the shorter amount of time it takes. Some harder things take a lot more time to build into habits. But keep in mind, your habit defines you. It creates everything that is going to happen down the road. So it is in your best interest to change and to tinker with these habits and make the most out of them. So that's it. That's what we have for this evening. Again, happy Wednesday night to you. This is Wednesday Night Wellness Live with Dr. Andrew Merrill here at Nightlight Chiropractic. You can find all kinds of other great information at drandrewmerrillblog.com. And you can also find us here at Nightlight Chiropractic. If you go to nightlightchiropractic.com, there's a page there that you can come talk to us and sign up for a free consultation or to come see us for an appointment. Happy Wednesday again. Good night.